It's 46 days to election 2020. Welcome to your election headquarters. This is John News at 6 with me, Bernice Abubeidulansa. Electoral violence is a crime punishable by years in prison avoided. The news is live on Joy 99.7 and Hits 103.9 FM in Accra. Also on Love 99.5 in Kumasi. Affiliates across Ghana, including Swiss 93.7 FM in Ho and worldwide at myjoyonline.com. Coming up, race against time to rescue anyone who may still be alive under the rubble of a 6th-floor building which collapsed Tuesday on about 60 worshippers at Achimbatebi.
We want to remove every debris and be sure that nobody is under the debris, whether alive or dead.
The death toll is now 15. We'll bring you more details. And staff of the Eastern Regional Hospital compelled to donate blood to save lives as the regional blood bank runs out.
There's no blood at the bank, and it's a real problem for us.
And coming up in business, government and employers had loggerheads over proposals to increase the retirement age from 60 years to a new age yet to be determined.
Also in this bulletin, we'll hear some songs that were used to capture the sentiments of Nigerian youth during the End SARS protests.
We are the monsters you made. Them live sorrow, tears and blood. Them regular trade. Them live sorrow, tears and blood.
We've got details coming up shortly. Do stay. Thanks for your company. The details now. This morning, there's a race against time to rescue anyone who may still be alive under the rubble of a 6th-floor building which collapsed Tuesday on about 60 worshippers at Achimbatebi in the Eastern region. The death toll is now 15. 8 others have been hospitalized and many more are trapped. The 6-story building collapsed when some church members gathered to pray. Eastern Regional Minister Eric Kwache Darfour says rescue efforts will not stop until everyone is accounted for.
We have a combined team from the Army, 1BN, and then the headquarters, and then we have a detachment from the Jungle Warfare at Yansere. NADMO is here, and the townsfolk are really doing a good job. But we want to remove every debris and be sure that nobody is under the debris, whether alive or dead.
Eric Kwache Darfour is Eastern Regional Minister. The rescue mission continues today, and staff and national service personnel at the Eastern Regional Hospital are being compelled to donate blood to save lives at the hospital. Medical Director Dr. Ako Akoto Ampao voluntarily donated to set himself as an example for staff to follow. The move has become necessary due to shortage of blood at the bank, which poses a threat to lives of patients. According to Dr. Akoto Ampao, the hospital has just about 7 pints of blood as against the daily consumption of 30 pints. He said the COVID-19 pandemic is the main cause of depletion at the blood bank.
So critical, the hospital had just about 7 pints. If you look at our daily consumption, we are supposed to have like a minimum of around 40 to 50 pints of blood. This is because the COVID situation had made it worse.
Dr. Akoto Ampao is Medical Director of the Eastern Regional Hospital. John Ewa is a caregiver who brought a relative to the hospital, but they require blood transfusion. He explained his ordeal.
She's been admitted to the hospital just this afternoon. And upon examination, we were told that she would need some units of blood. Unfortunately, when we put the blood bank, we were told that there's no blood at the bank, and it's a real problem for us.
John Ewa is a caregiver who brought a relative to the Eastern Regional Hospital. Away from that story, government has launched investigations into ownership, encroachment, and allegations of illegal sale of aviation lands. The coalition of Ghana Civil Aviation Association workers have raised red flags about the dangers the siting of illegal buildings by private and real estate developers at East Legon, Ashale-Botre, and La poses to flight operations at the Kotoka International Airport. Joy News checks reveal some developers have cleared the green belt, which is supposed to absorb carbon monoxide emitted from vehicles on the Accra-Tema motorway. Listen to Lands and Natural Resources Minister Kwekwa Somatreme responding to the workers' allegations that the Lands Commission is complicit in the illegal sale of these lands.
The committee that had been set up by the president to investigate, they have a representation, the committee. My ministry also has a representation. Other senior members, experts have been invited to come and deal with. Aviation cannot simply say that it is the owner. Therefore, for one to say that aviation's land at large, the lease itself has limitation. Number of years spelled out on the face of the lease.
Kwekwa Somatreme is Lands and Natural Resources Minister. This is your election headquarters. Let's do some election-related news now. Civil society organization CDD has established that the manifestos of the two leading political parties failed to tackle the actual needs of the electorate. That's not all. They also indicate in their assessment that the NDC and MPP compiled a document failing to appreciate the new reality COVID has imposed on the economy. Executive Director of CDD, Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh, spoke on Wednesday night's manifesto track on PM Express, which focused on a reality check of these manifestos.
It's very clear that nobody wants you to ask them about cost. Nobody is even factoring in the fact that this is a post-COVID. These are post-COVID manifestos, or maybe not just post-COVID. These are COVID-informed manifestos. The manifestos do not seem to engage the new reality that COVID has imposed on us.
True.
In fact, we are going into the election with even our sovereign rating having been downgraded.
Yeah.
So, but you read the manifestos and people are still promising reductions in taxes. They are promising tax cuts.
Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh is Executive Director of the CDD. For Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement at the CDD, Dr. Kojo Asante, it's impossible for the two parties to achieve the promises in their manifestos within 4 years.
So if we don't deal with that in a realistic way, then we are all kind of fantasizing. Governance become like, a gambling, game. Yeah. So, but why is it that we know that picture and yet we are behaving as if it doesn't exist? Because there's some of the things we are talking about, there's no way anybody can do it in 4 years.
You heard the Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement at the CDD, Dr. Kojo Asante. Now, flag bearer of the opposition NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has promised to retrieve locked-up investment of customers of Men's Gold if he wins the December polls. Speaking to residents of Takwa and Siam, Mr. Mahama promised to use every legitimate means to retrieve the monies owed them.
What you mean say? Abai Men's Gold asem no, and your movie asem. If you say, who would your movie ever home? And Nipana, Eji Nipasikano. On the number, Men's Gold for some quiet demonstration. Now, the police are called Bromo. Namiadum NDC are buying Baba.
You heard the former President John Dramani Mahama, his flag bearer of the NDC, promising to help Men's Gold customers access their funds if he wins power in this year's elections. Now, music plays an important role during protest, and the story wasn't different for the End SARS demonstrations, a slogan which calls for the end to the Special Anti-Robbery Squad in Nigeria. The youth used several mediums to drive home their demands to President Buhari: placards with various messages, chants asking the IGP to step down, and social media with multiple hashtags. Now, one of the mediums used was music. In the following report, Mapito CBD highlights some of the songs that were used to capture the sentiments of Nigerian youth.
The past month has seen Nigerians hit the street to demand an end to police brutality. Music has come in handy as songs that capture the sentiments have been utilized. First, Burna Boy's Monsters You Made. The title of the song is a depiction of how the Nigerian government has made monsters of the youth by neglecting and not meeting their demands. When citizens get fed up, they become monsters. A perfect musical response to the Lekki Toll Plaza shooting that was allegedly carried out by Nigerian soldiers in Lagos would be P Square's Oga Police.
Oga Police, waiting be this. You
You can't speak about music, protest, and Nigeria without speaking about the pioneer of Afrobeats. In his song Sorrow, Tears, and Blood, released in 1977, Fela Kuti perfectly describes the situation in 2020.
Them live sorrow, tears,